We just had something super exciting happening. We just came off of recording the Modern Direct Seller podcast. We were asked to be guest hosts, and I'm just like still blown away. So we just finished recording that, and if you're following us over here because we did invite you to come and see us, thank you so much for joining us on our podcast.
Welcome to the Other 99% podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Duck, a coffee-loving direct sales enthusiast who's obsessed with a good digital system. Come join me for a realistic look into the world of direct sales. We'll explore inspiring perspectives, learn about unique business tips, and celebrate success stories that often go untold. Because on the Other 99%, every seller matters.
Hey everyone, it is me, Lisa, and welcome back to another episode of The Other 99%. I'm here with our co-host, Susan Larimer, and we just had something super exciting happening. We just came off of recording the Modern Direct Seller podcast. We were asked to be guest hosts, and I'm just like still blown away. So we just finished recording that, and if you're following us over here because we did invite you to come and see us, thank you so much for joining us on our podcast. And we just want to continue the conversation, basically. So if you haven't listened to the Modern Direct Seller podcast, don't worry. You can go and listen after you're done here, because we're just talking about, the value of that we found being in the academy, what growth we've seen from it and all of that stuff. And on our podcast, we wanted to talk about where we are now and sort of why, I strongly feel that if it wasn't for the academy, I wouldn't be here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, come on, Susan, we're hosting a podcast. We're on Spotify.
My kids think that's so cool. My mom's on Spotify.
I just think it's like, how cool is this going to be, when our kids have kids and they're like, oh, look, grandma was a podcast host, right? It's like, that's going to be kind of cool, right? But it's like we're leaving something behind, which is
Legacy.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And it's so funny because I recently just shared that we were doing a podcast with a common acquaintance, and she's not in direct sales, but she's now religiously listening to our podcast. So if you're listening, you know who you are. And thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate it. But she sends me little messages all the time. It's like, I love you and Susan. It's like, I love the information. And she is getting value from it and using it in her business, which is amazing. So we love doing what we're doing. So let's just jump in. Susan, tell the listeners sort of like, give them a little overview, like where you were in 2020 or before you joined the academy to where you are now and how that sort of makes you feel, because it's like sort of surreal, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
buckle up. This might take like an hour for me to explain. I don't even know where to start. I've been in direct sales since, like early, I don't know, 2010-ish. At a couple different companies. 2014, I joined Lemongrass Spa. But from 2014 to 2020, I was doing direct sales the way my company and my upline told me how to do direct sales. Home parties, vendor events, got into Facebook parties, 2018, 2019. And then 2020 hit. We all know what happened in 2020. And I was looking for more training and to do things differently. And that's when I found the Modern Direct Seller Academy. So like Lisa said, we highly recommend you listen to that episode because this is a part 2. So we're not going to talk about all the things we talked about, but
There's so much. It would be
yeah,
another like 30 minutes explaining all
yeah.
the benefits. So yeah.
But basically, joining the academy, I was hearing how other companies were running their businesses and being very successful in ways that I had never thought of. So my brain kind of exploded with all of the opportunities and different ways to do business. The community was amazing. I joined in September of 2020. Lisa joined around April of
Y yeah,
2021.
early 2021, yeah.
I got to know some other Academy members very well. They live in different states. We've never met in person. Lisa lives in Canada. I live in New Jersey. I mean, there were people from all over Canada and the United States in the Academy. So you get to know people. And then something happens because because your mind is open to other ways to do business, you start to realize that you have different talents and different gifts that you didn't even know about and that you haven't been using. And when you start to use those gifts and talents, it just becomes so much more fun and exciting. And Lisa and I text each other all day, every day. She goes to bed late. She's sending me messages. When I get up in the morning, I see hers. I get up super early and she probably doesn't get them for an hour or two. But I'm like, what do you think about this? And, now we're into website design. I design websites for not only me, but my church, and another group too. Email marketing, not just social media, but we're creating our own digital tools and selling them. It's just, we have a podcast. Like, I still can't wrap my brain around that. Um, but it's so exciting. And I said to Lisa, I say it all the time. I'm so grateful for the opportunities that I have. I am so excited about where my business is now and where it's going. And she said, I can feel your excitement. Like, I
Yeah.
know how excited you are. I'm so excited too. So I don't know. Would you want to piggyback on that?
Yeah, I mean, when I think back to where I began in direct sales, it's like when I first started 20 years ago, like it's probably been 20 years almost to the day soon. And it's like when I started back then, I was this shy person. I don't even know how I did home parties, Susan. It's like I have no idea how I did it. The only way I got through it is because I would cringe when someone that I knew asked me to do a party for them and notice how I said asked me because I would not ask, right? But when someone that I knew, because I had to be the Lisa that they knew.
Mm,
Right? But it was different when I was out, and I used to do vendor shows back then, but when I was out and I did events like for people I didn't know, I could be a little bit of a different Lisa and they wouldn't know I was being like a phony, right? I wasn't fake in terms like I was sincere with what I was offering, but I was able to embellish Lisa a bit more. So I think that's how I got through. But when I think about how I was to how I am today, like never would you get me in front of a camera sitting here talking to people. And now I absolutely love what I'm doing, right? Doing the podcast, doing training. I'm a course creator. Like I created a freaking course. Like it's like and people are buying it. Like that's what it's like, yeah, and then we have to think about it's like all of those years and running our businesses, we have learned a lot. And what the academy allowed me to do is to build my confidence to know that what I had in here was valuable and I was able to share it with the masses, right? And now I actually sit there and I look because I have some people, it's like, oh my God, Lisa, you're so great. It's like, I get so embarrassed by that, but it's like, I'm so in awe that I can actually help people because my number one goal and the reason why I started and I branched out into to doing the training is because I found that there were so many people out there, and I seen this with my team is why I started, right? They were so overwhelmed with all of the things, even the things that the company was giving them. There were apps, there were, how to run parties this way or that way. And everything was so overwhelming to people that I prided myself on the fact that I was able to take that and simplify it for them. I was able to take the overwhelm out of it, right? So that's sort of what I've built my brand on.
yeah. And I mean, you see Lisa in the academy. if we didn't have Lisa in there training on the Oh My High websites and the tech part, like we'd be lost. There wouldn't be the customer care that comes with Oh My High. I wouldn't know how to do websites.
Like your anchor links, right? You just learned your anchor
I
links.
But yeah, we would be lost without you. But now, when before I am where I am now, so before the old Susan, when someone would ask me what I do, it's always such a weird question because if you say I'm a direct seller or I'm in direct sales, you get that there's a negative.
People just, when you say that, it's automatic. People just shut off.
I
I don't want
know.
to be sold to.
I know. And I always hated that. I hated when people asked me, "What do you do?"
Mm-hmm.
Because I never quite know how to answer it. So I'll say, I'm in direct sales. I represent a company called Lemongrass Spa. We offer natural skincare products. And they're always like, "Oh."
Mm-hmm.
And then, and then you're like, "Oh, like the products are really great." But, you just kind of let the conversation go. But now, and I'm still with Lemongrass. I love Lemongrass Spa products. So I can say I'm a direct seller, but I'm also a website designer. I'm also a host on a podcast. I'm also a digital content creator.
Mm-hmm.
I help other direct sellers in selling them. I need to learn what I'm doing. I can train other direct sellers in different parts of their business to make them more successful. And there's just this whole resume of skills that I have that I did not even dream of 5+ years ago. And it all
Yeah.
came from, being a part of the academy and just, learning from others and from Becky and taking chances too, taking risks and trying things and learning.
Yeah. I don't think because I actually started creating my website when I was in the academy. But because I think one of the introductory things to Becky was build your website in a weekend or
Yes, I
something
did
like
that.
that.
I
And
started
I
there
missed
also.
out on that, right? So
Okay,
I was
okay.
always like so jealous of you guys having your website and
Yeah.
all that stuff. So I actually did that by myself. I did
Mhm.
that before Oh My High. So I went and I binge watched every training video that I could. I figured out how to master WordPress and get and do my website all on my own. So I did that all by myself. But then when my high came, it was like the easy button.
My
It was like,
gosh.
oh my God, everyone needs. So if you're listening, you really need to look into Oh My High because every direct seller needs a website. And I on my blog, I just recently, even think I told you this, but I just recently published a blog about why, even though your company gives you a website, why you need your own branded website. So head over to lisaduck.com and take a look at the blogs and you'll see it there. But it's so, so important for direct sellers to build their brand online because this is how people get to know you. This is how they get to like you and trust you. This is what makes you stand apart from, other direct sellers in the same company. I always used to say when we were just working on Facebook, right? Don't copy and paste your content because you're gonna get lost in the scroll. Nobody is gonna stop if they see the same image over and over again, right? And it's just like if I were just to be using my company website, how do people know that they're on my site unless they're actually looking for that
Little
tiny little
picture.
picture of me up in the top corner, right? To make sure they're shopping with me. So they could
Right.
easily be on someone else's website and think they're supporting me and they're not. But if they go to lisaduck.com, they can link right out to my referral link for Epicure and they can shop. They can, with confidence, know they're shopping with me, right? And they could find me everywhere. I have like all the links to my social platforms. It's all in one place and easy to find. So I absolutely love that. But I mean, when we think about where we've come from, like, I mean, just think about what you have to offer, Susan. Not only do we have like a bunch of freebies on our sites, right? So I could just think of a few, like 10 things you're missing without email marketing. I have free planners where you could download like printable planners for you, for your business. I mean, I have a few. I can't even remember them all. But then my paid offers. It's like, so I have digital products available too. I have a CEO planner where it's just like a 2-page or a 1-page sheet where you can map out your week in 15 minutes so you know where you need to be and where you need to show up to grow your business. Then I have my um custom GPT, which is like for people who are just dabbling in blogs and you're not really sure how to do blogs. Well, this custom GPT will help you write blogs, and it will help you get the H1, H2, H3 headings correct so that it will help you show up more on the SEO Google search, right? Than just sitting there and writing out a blog, not knowing what to put where and what to make an H1 or an H2 heading. So I have that available. I have a bunch of other um direct sales specific toolkits, mainly for the holiday time, but they're there too. And then I have my course. I have my email marketing course, right? And my email marketing course currently, it's at $97 for like the basic course, and then you can upgrade. Like if you want to have any one-on-one sessions with me, you have a chance to upgrade. But then I also have a tier where it's a done with you experience, not done for you, because I'm a big believer that, in order for you to learn, you need to be part of the process. So we have 5 1-hour calls where we establish your lead magnet, your freebie that's going to help you build your list. And then we go through setting up your emails, creating your sequences, setting up your automations and all that stuff so that by the end of your 6 weeks with me, you actually have everything done and your email system is set up, ready to go. And all that's left for you to do is do your weekly or biweekly or monthly communication with your customers or contacts that you want to do. You set the cadence that you want, and then that's how you run your business and your email marketing going forward, right? But that whole thing is now set up so that anytime a new lead comes into your funnel, they're going through all the sequences and the process, and they're getting to know, like, and trust you before they actually interact with you in the email inbox, right? So that's what I absolutely love about my email marketing course. And yeah, it's like I'm a course creator. I just came to that conclusion yesterday as I was typing in. I sent Susan some screenshots of a custom GB, or not a custom GPT, but prompts to put into ChatGPT, and I put it in, and it spit it out at the end, and it goes, "Lisa, you are a course creator." And I'm like, wow, that's like, wow, you know?
Yeah, that's so fun.
Did
Yeah,
you
and you
do
think
it
about
yet? Did you do that?
no, I didn't.
Okay.
No, because it was on my phone and I wanted to do it on my computer. I will.
Yeah.
But yeah, you think about all the different platforms we're showing up on. YouTube, we both have a
Mhm.
YouTube channel, the podcast. We talked about maybe dabbling in Pinterest too.
Yeah, it's
But I
still
think
there.
yeah,
It's still there, yeah.
but I think our website, I mean, that's the most powerful thing. And when you think about building a website, if someone says, "Oh, do you have a website?" Like, no, that is way I can't do that. That is
Mhm.
so tech heavy. Like there's no way I could build a website. But the Oh My Hi, I always say it's like a website with training wheels.
Mhm.
It is so doable for anybody to not only build it, but to keep up with it and to update it and to add things to it. And like Lisa said, your face can be big on it. You're not just a little dot up in the left-hand corner.
I know it's you go to my pages and it's like, "Wow, there's Lisa."
I know. She just got new photos and it looks amazing and it's fun too. Like it kind of gets that creative side of me that I don't always have an outlet for. You know, you're looking at colors and how you're laying things out and then you're learning how things are received best. Like how should I lay things out so that people click, so that people get the most from your website, the most value, so that it looks nice. So you're constantly learning. So, part of me is a continuous, I always want to be learning, always want
Yeah.
to be learning and growing. So I get that side, I get the creative side, and then you get the rewards. Like when someone purchases your product that you created, so I just created the branding made simple toolkit or guide, and it's, 30 pages, and it walks you through step by step creating your brand, not just colors and fonts, but the personality, the tone, the voice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty in depth. And so it took a lot of time, many, many hours to create this. But once I created it, you feel like you kind of like birthed a baby. I'm
Yeah.
like, look what I made.
And when people buy it, it's just that recognition,
Yes.
like, I did good. Like,
Yeah.
I really did good, right?
Yeah.
And especially when you get the testimonies and the feedback and all of that stuff. I mean, I go to my website and I sit there and I smile, and it makes me so happy reading some of the testimonials that people have sent to me about working with me and, purchasing one of my courses or one of my products and how it helped them do XYZ. It's just amazing. And I mean, I think that's our goal, right? You come into direct sales, I think, because you want to be of service to people, right? I think about back when I was in Mary Kay. I wanted to help people have great skin, right? And that was my goal. And now it's like, it's just evolved. It's evolved in what my goal is. My goal is to show people that they don't need to be a tech expert to run an online business, right? I'm there because I want to simplify things. I want to take away the overwhelm so that you could just go in and do what you need to do and not get caught in the weeds,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna take you back to the academy quick. One of the things that I got from the academy, it's called a CEO. I think it's a CEO dashboard.
Dashboard. Yeah.
Yeah. And it is like an Excel, beautiful spreadsheet. And I'm not an Excel girl. Like, I don't like numbers. I've never been good with numbers. But this makes it super easy to put your goals in and to track them. And so this year, for the first time, shame on me, but I went through and made a list of 10 goals for myself for this year. And they're not all business goals.
Hmm.
Some of them are community related, church related, health related, but I was able to put all of the goals in there with a number that I'm tracking. And then it says where you are now. You can update it every month, and then it tracks your progress. It'll say if you're on track for meeting your goal by the end of the year, if you're falling behind, and it gives you like a bar graph so you can see how close you are to meeting your goal. And that has been super helpful for me tracking. I want to create a new digital product every month, and I
Hmm.
want to create a freebie to go with that. So then, you're funneling people. Maybe you're catching them, they're getting your freebie, and then you have the email automation set up so that it goes into, hey, maybe you'd like to learn more about this. Here's what I have to offer. So that was one of my goals. Of course, I have like personal, selling my products with Lemongrass Spa. I have goals with that, but I'm able to visually track everything. And when you keep that in front of you instead of saying, January 1st, oh, these are all the goals I have. And then by March, you're like, I have no idea what my goals are. I have no idea where I'm going. I don't have a plan. But to have that tracker was super important to me.
Yeah. And I love that you say that because, I mean, putting out your goals and putting it down in writing is very important. Now, I'm going to be honest. I mean, I tried that tracker back when I was in Epicure and trying to track, team building and stuff like that. And I never could do it. But now that I'm actually working a business of my own, it's so much easier for me, right? So I mean, I'm not going to say like it's hard for to do it in direct sales because I know that there's people who are using it. It was
Yeah.
designed for direct sellers, right?
Yeah.
So I love that Becky provides that for the academy goers. I'm not sure. I think that might just be at the VIP level, but I could be wrong. about that, but it's available there for you. And there's just so much to learn. It
Yeah.
really is so much to learn.
And another thing, that I kind of let go of this year, I've never been a strong recruiter for my direct sales company. And that's something that I always struggled with because it's something that most companies put a big emphasis on. You should be recruiting this many a year,
Especially
promoting.
at leader level, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And so, the level that I'm at every year, I have the same goal to promote to the next level, to recruit this many people. And I finally let it go this year because I've had a whole big switch in my business thinking anyway, but it felt so good to let that go because it's something that I'm just not good at. And I was kind of putting myself in this
You're setting yourself up for
lane.
failure,
I
right?
was.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to let go of that, because it's also something that I can't control.
Hey everyone, just a quick pause to thank today's sponsor, CinchShare. CinchShare is a social media scheduler designed for direct sellers and creators alike. It's your go to tool for planning, scheduling, and simplifying social media right from your phone. Built to take away the overwhelm, it lets you upload your own content, use a ready to share library, schedule across multiple platforms, or post on the go using the CinchShare keyboard. Want to learn more about CinchShare or grab a free 30-day trial? Visit lisadoc.com/CinchShare. Now back to the episode.
I can't control if people join my team. I can present the opportunity, I can share my experiences, but I can't control whether they join or not. What I can control is how I run my business, the things that I offer, the things that I say. Taking care of my customers is huge for me. I can
And your
control
customer
all
care is
that.
like crazy good, and you have a toolkit for that
I
too,
do.
right?
I have the ultimate
Yeah.
customer care guide, and, yeah, customer care is where I thrive because I can control that. I can control the products that I create, and so letting go of all of the things that I can't control felt so good, and that was just in the last month that I did that, letting go of that and focusing on what I can control. And we talk about these digital products, the digital products that we're creating, we get 100% of the profit. We're
Mhm.
not getting 25% commission off of them. We created it. That's money in our pocket, which is so different than what we're used to. I'm used to figuring out like, okay, 25% of this many lotions is this much amount. This is how much I have to sell. So it's just a very freeing way of doing your business. And I think anyone can do it. We all have ideas. We all have direct sales experience that we've learned. And maybe it's questions that keep coming up with your downline, like you said, Lisa, things that you're like, okay, I'm going to put this into a toolkit because now someone has that question. Here's a training for you. So it's
Yes.
just so many opportunities in direct sales without only doing, the products that your company offers.
Yeah, and I've always had a love for email marketing, but one thing that prompted me to actually do the course was when Epicure closed back in January 2025. There were so many people who lost their entire customer base, right? And I actually had a couple people reach out to me and say, like, how are you still connecting with your customers? I said, because I claimed that list myself.
Yeah.
I created an email marketing platform for my customers. So they were used to hearing from me in their inbox, not just from Epicure. So I thought it was very important for people and direct sellers, especially, to know that, you don't own that list, even though you think you do. You don't own that customer list if all you do is keep it inside of your back office. You don't own the friends list that you have on your Facebook account because Facebook can shut you down at any time. The only thing that you truly own is your email list. So you need to start building that if you truly want to be able to have your business be fail proof, right? And when you're doing, like we say, it's like building yourself as a brand, right? And something happens and your company might close down, you still have built your know, like, and trust with this group of people, and you can present them a new offer. they might sit there and say, that offer's not for me. Thank you very much. But chances are they're going to trust you and they're going to at least take a look at what you have to offer again. Right. So again, that was like the main reason that I created. But I wanted to say, because I thought this was funny. Um, Susan and I are in the midst of rebranding everything. It's like it's almost like if we're doing the Susan and Lisa 2.0 version of everything, right? So we were just in passing, just chatting about like rebranding our sites and all this stuff, and all of a sudden Susan sends me her new color palette, right? And I'm like, are you joking? She goes, what? And I'm
She's
like,
like, well, Lisa goes, do you want me to share my colors? And I'm like, not if they're the same as my colors.
and it's like, it was so funny. I sent her the screenshot of the colors that I was working with, and they're not the identical colors, but they're blue and orange. And it's like, how ironic is that, right? And so you have to go and check out our new updated websites, lisaduck.com, susanlarimer.com. So easy to find, but we'd love to know what you think about it. But it was so amazing. It's like, when you start working with people, like, I mean, you and I have never met in person, right? But it's like we are so close. We're our
Jeez.
business besties. Like, it's almost like, yeah, our brain works as one sometimes, right? And you're sitting there thinking, but yeah, go take a look at our websites. Let us know what you're thinking. I'm still in the midst of, I got a lot of pages. I got
Yeah.
a lot of pages that I have to transition to the new color palette. So,
It's such a
um,
good example too, because even though, they're the same families of colors. So I said
uh-huh,
mine's more like spring, summer, and Lisa's are like fall, winter. And I
uh-huh.
said my website's more like for kindergartners, and Lisa's is like for the college students. But that's our personalities
Yeah,
too. My
yeah.
website is brighter and, I don't know, more I don't
Mine's
know.
more moody. Like,
Yeah,
more
and it's just
moody. Yeah.
our personalities, and that's what I love about websites too. So you definitely have to check out both websites and see that we're both, in the same track as far as, like, digital products and, um, where we are with our businesses, but very different personalities are coming out, which
Yeah.
is that's how websites should be. If I had Lisa's colors on my website, people would be like, "Well, it doesn't really match Susan's personality,"
Yeah.
but it's just
So
fun.
true.
Yeah, the beauty of
All
branding.
all right, everyone. I mean, I think
I'm
you listened to us for long enough now.
we're
But
exhausted.
we can honestly sit there and talk about all of this stuff all day long. But we appreciate you tuning in and joining us on this week's episode of The Other 99%. And remember, find us on social. We got all our new social channels, and we're so excited to have CinchShare as our sponsor. So you probably heard the commercial mid episode here. So if you haven't checked out CinchShare, go and check out the link in the show notes. I'm just loving using it. I just posted one of their ready to use reels
Mm,
recently, and like the engagement is crazy. And really, I didn't do anything other than hit schedule because the reel is there and the caption was there. I just added a little blurb to make it sound more like me in the caption, but it was like the easy button, and there are people like commenting. It's like, yes, please. Like, I'll
yeah,
take more of that. So go and check out them if you haven't. There's a free 30-day trial, and they also have the free plan too. So if it's not something where you can add to your budget right now, it's still worth going to check out. But yeah, so thanks again for tuning in, and we hope you enjoyed what we shared on this episode. And we will see you again next week for another episode of the Other 99%. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.
that's a wrap for today's episode of The Other 99%. We just want to say thank you. It truly means the world to us that you're here. Lisa and I absolutely love creating these episodes for you, and we're so grateful to have you in our community. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to like, share with a friend, leave a review, and subscribe so you never miss a new episode. We drop fresh content every Tuesday. Got thoughts, questions, or ideas? Leave us a comment. Want to be a guest on the show? We would love to chat with you. Apply by clicking the link in the show notes. Thanks again for spending time with us today, and we'll catch you on the next episode of The Other 99%.